My friends, this is it. The first Shabbat of the year, one of the holiest Shabbats of the year, arguably the most special Shabbat of the year is a Shabbat Shuvah. This is the Shabbat between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur during the Aseret Yemei Teshuvah. This is the Shabbat where we read the special Haftarah from Sefer Hosea, chapter 14. It starts with the words, Shuva Israel ad Hashem Elokecha. Return, the Jewish people, return to Hashem your God. Be close to Him. Ku imachem devarim. Take with you words. Hashem said, I don't need your gold, I don't need your silver. All I need is you to bring words. What words? Confess. Say you're sorry. Because sorry seems to be the hardest word. Sometimes to say sorry, a person really have to overcome himself and say, yes, I'm so sorry. I did it. I'm sorry. Instead of saying, what's wrong with that? A person has to say, I'm sorry. I did something wrong. I accept responsibility. I accept that was my fault. I accept the fact that I did something not appropriate. And sometimes it's very, very hard, but that's what Hashem wants. Hashem wants us to bring Him words, to bring Him an apology, to bring Him a confession, to be honest with ourselves and take responsibility. Imru elav, tell him, kol tisa avon v'kach toif u'neshalma farim svateinu. And please forgive us, forgive all our averot, and accept our good intentions, and accept our words as if we brought sacrifices instead of bulls. And this phrase actually serves as the foundation, serves as the base, that today the tefillah substitutes the korban, and we should really try very, very hard to say the korbanot every morning, every afternoon before mincha, because the words have power. Rabotai, what's the process of tshuva? Tshuva is not an easy thing. It means changing ourselves, and it's easy to learn the entire Talmud and to change one quality, to change one difficult and unfortunate and unpleasant personal trait. It's very, very hard. I heard recently from Rabbi Ephraim Ilyaguev the following approach, that instead of changing everything, it just changed a little bit. Every year, if a person changes every year 1%, imagine over the course of his life, over the next 30 years, 20 years, 40 years, how much he could actually change. And if we consider the principle of compounding, that each and every single change actually will trickle down and cause other things to change, because everything affects everything. I want to share with you a personal story. Many, many years ago, I remember I had a very, very hard time getting up in the morning. I was struggling to make it to a minyan. Baruch Hashem, this is not my struggle anymore, but it used to be my struggle. And I know many, many people find it challenging waking up in the morning. And it got to a point that a few times I used to work in a city, a few times I overslept and I ended up davening on the train. I was going from Brooklyn to Manhattan. I woke up so late that I didn't even have a chance to pray at home. I had to pray on the train, and then I had to figure out when to put on tefillin to do it during mincha or during lunchtime. I really was not happy with this state of things. So there's one thing, I don't know how I came up with this idea, but it was a great idea. I spoke to a rabbi where I used to pray in the mornings. They had an early minyan, I think it was around 6:45, and I told him, Rabbi, would you please give me 5 minutes of your time before Shacharit? I want to have with you a chavruta. I want to learn with you. Let's learn Mishnah Berurah. Let's learn Alachot. And he said, let me think about it. After a few days, he got back to me. He said, yes, let's do it. And this minor change in my schedule, this minor little commitment, 5 minutes a day, transformed everything. It transformed not only my mornings, but also my career, my relationship with my children, everything. Because now I was one of the first standard people in Minyan. I was learning Torah every day. All those 5 minutes were adding up. Actually, we were covering ground. It was great. I was learning halachot. Also, because I was there on time, I finished on time. Instead of going home, it didn't make sense for me to go home, so I would go straight to the office, and I would be one of the first people to come to the office. So it made me look very, very good in the eyes of my supervisor, in the eyes of my boss. So my career actually improved. And then because I was at work early, I was able to leave early and spend more time with my family. Just think about how one little change could trickle down and affect and impact everything. So Rabotai, instead of just making major changes, which is great, if you're able to do it, go ahead. But if you feel like you're not able to do it, just take something small and stick to it. Create a new good habit or uproot a bad habit. Just this year, commit to something small. Even if you change 1% over the next 20, 30, 40 years, you can become a tzaddik. You can become a different person. And you can really return to Hashem 100%.